सो 21ਵੀਂ ਪੌੜੀ ਤੇ ਹੈ ਗਿਆ ਸੀ ਤੀਰਥ ਤਪ ਦਇਆ ਦਤਦਾਨ ਜੇ ਕੋ ਪਾਵੇ ਤਿਲ ਕਾ ਮਾਨ ਸੁਣਿਆ ਮੰਨਿਆ ਮਨ ਕੀਤਾ ਪਾਓ ਅੰਤਰਗਤ ਤੀਰਥ ਮਲ ਨਾਓ सब गुण तेरे मैं नाही कोय विण गुण कीते भगत न होए स्वस्थ आत बाणी बरमाओ सत सुहान सदा मन चाओ कवण सुवेला वक्त कवण थित कवण वार कवण से रुत्ती महाकवण जित होआ आकार वेल न पाया पंडिती जे होवे लेख पुराण वक्त न पायो कादिया जे लिखन लेख कुरान थित वार ना जोगी जाने रुत महा न कोई जा करता सिरठी को साजे आपे जाने सोई किव कर आखा किव सालाही क्यों वरनी किव जाना नानक आखन सबको आखे एक दो एक सियाना वड्डा साहिब वड्डी नाई कीता जाका होवे नानक जे को आपो जाने अगे गया ना सो है तीरथ तप दया दत्तदान So in this party Guru Sahib is going back some of the concepts that he had already dealt with on Tirath. Remember that party Tirath Nama Jetut Pava? So he's coming back and after that he talked about all kinds of people, Asank Chor Haram Khor, Asank Jap, Asank Pao, Tarah de log, right? All the multitudinous of different types of people. And then he switched the subject to how do we cleanse ourselves? How do we remove the dirt on our body and on our mind? So this is a continuation of the last body which addresses the dirt that has to be removed from the mind. And again, he is talking about what is prevalent in the community at that time, the prevalent practices of the mainstream community are addressed here and explored. So going to Tirath was a big deal, and it still is. I think recently they had the Kumbh Mela, and actually one of the mainstream newspapers here talked about it, that what a hugely attended event it was and how amazingly it was organized, that it went flawlessly. More than 100,000 people, I don't know how many, I've lost count. I mean lost count in the sense I've forgotten the exact number, but even today people from all over the world,
it was in the tens of millions.
Tens of millions have gone there, and how flawlessly the event happened because everybody worked for months to get, this place where the electricity never works, where the water never works, everything worked because people worked so hard to make that Kumbh Mela a huge success, because it is believed that it's one of the greatest puns to go take a dip over there at that time. But what does Guru Sahib tell us? तीरथ तप दया तत्दान जेको पावे तिल का मान. Going to Tiraths, doing tapasya, doing compassionate deeds and charities, while they are really good things to do, but without that divine remembrance and constant awareness in your mind of Naam, what are they? They give you a little bit of honor and recognition and perhaps boasting rights that I've been to the Kumbh Mela, but the maan you get is the size of a sesame seed, til ka maan. They are meager in their impact. Their overall consequence is so negligible that what are you doing? And why are you making such a huge deal of it? Millions of you, you're rushing there, for that dip. Whereas, what is Tirath in Gurbani? Tirath is Shabad. Tirath is Guru da Gyan. Tirath is Antargat. Tirath Malnao. Inside, the sacred shrine is the Shabad. Cleansing yourself with Guru's Gyan is the deed that is extolled. And that we forget. And we seek these outer things. Now, our journey is from outside to within. And everything that is an outside ritual, whatever that might be, you light the diya, right? There is all this thing about jyot jalani. It's external. What do we need to do? We have to jalao the jyot inside, right? We take amrit, which is a huge deal for us. But what is the end goal? To have the amrit inside, the amriti varkha inside. So all of these things that are external symbols are really remind Guru da Dwar, right? We go to Gurdware, which is a building, constantly, so that the Guru's Dwar within us is awakened, right? We listen to the sound of the Shabad, so that the Shabad inside is generated. The journey is from the outside to the inside. Always. We have to, the inner journey has to start. The inner sanctum sanctorium has to be visited. And that is not in a building. No matter how beautiful it is, how lavish it is, how architecturally pleasing it is, how marbleized it is, how many millions you spend on it, that is still the external. And similarly, the external tirats, all that they get you are the man or the honor that amounts to a sesame seed. So Guru is encouraging us again to move, to take more steps on the internal journey. Tirath tap daya dan jeko pave tilka man sunya manya man kita pao. So what do you do instead? Listen to the Guru's word, listen to the Shabad, believe in it, imbibe it. Sunya manya. Don't argue. Don't get intellectual about it. Don't start parsing it and fighting over it. That this is only our tradition. This is mine, But believe in it, that this is the word, Sunya manya man kita pao, and let the love inside you blossom. Pao is love. By believing, by listening, what happens? Sun sun naam tumhara pritam, prapekhan ka chao. I listen, I hear the beautiful verses of Gurbani, the rapturous description that Guru Sahib gives of the divine darshan, and I feel, wow, I want that too. When people talk about what they're going to get, it all starts with the thought process. And they see something else and they hear how beautiful it is. We're going to Oahu next week, and this is, we're not going for the first time, we've been there many times, but the first time I went, I remember there was such an excitement about it because I had heard such beautiful things about the place, and I was like, I want to go there too, I want to visit that place too. So similarly, sun sun naam tumhara pritam, I hear about it, I believe that what is being said is the truth, and I'm excited about it. There is chow in my heart. There is this desire to visit, to experience it. We all, we stuff our lives with things, but ultimately what brings us the greatest joy or the greatest awakening are experiences. And after collecting and accumulating everything, all that we want at the end is anubhav, experience. We want to experience that divinity, within us. So sunya manya man kita pao, sunya manya man kita pao, antargat tirath mal now. Antargat, inside, inner sanctorium. There, the shrine is within you. Antargat. That is where the tirath needs to happen. That is where the real cleansing will be. That's where you have to go daily for that ishnan. The ishnan is also external to begin with, right? Swede utke now. But the internal ishnan, always, all the basic concepts of Sikhi may have an external phenomena about them, but it's all about the internal journey. They all lead, they may start from the internal, but they lead from the external, but they lead to the internal. Antargat Tirath mal now. Go to that inner inner cleansing. Go to that tirath which is within you, that shabad that is resounding, that you have to imbibe for it to resound. Go there, go to that place and cleanse yourself. That is the sacred shrine.
A bit off the subject, but in Gurbani many times you find stuff like Naam Dan Ishnaan as the main core of Sikhi. Is the Ishnaan there an inner cleansing? You're saying
that's what it means to me. That's what it means to me. You know, for me, so Vijay, I feel that all of it has external manifestations, but ultimately it has to be within. You know, the Shabad is within, the Amrit is within, the Jyot is within, right? The divine is within. So many times.
So Naam and Ishnaan is within, what about the Dhyan part? Naam and Ishnaan. I know I'm off the topic a little bit, but each time I read, I try to understand what is the Guru really saying. I'm quite sure.
It's all topic.
Daan is dekha na, daan is important nahi, asal daan. The next line says, daan to mil jayega tunu sab kuch, but do this, do antargat.
So could daan possibly mean the?
Or is it God's daan?
I was going to say that. The daan that you get from the data, the ultimate data. Right, Vijay? What do you think?
Naam
Dan. Yeah.
दूसरा देखना माघ के महीने से दसिया गया माघ मजन सत्संग साधुआं तूड़ी करिश्ना हर का नाम त्याए सुन सबना नु करदान
Evidan. This is
हर का नाम त्याए सुन सबना नु कर खाली ए नहीं त्याए सुन नहीं सबना नु करदान.
This is the dan, like. So that is also internal then. Naam Dan. So it is very, very much in line with that also being internal. Right? Okay, great. Thank you.
Sorry for the interruption.
No, we want those. So Tirath Tap Dhyata Dan. I've lost the space, never mind. Tirath Jeko Sunya Manya Man Ki Tapao Antargat Tirath Malna Sab Gun Tere Main Nahi Koi. You know, again a concept that is prevalent in Gurbani throughout, that the reservoir, the repository, the treasure chest of all goodness, of all virtues is Akal Purakh. Sab gun tere, main nahi koi. I'm a papi. What am I? I'm like that mitti that you keep on washing and there is more mitti, right? And that's who I am. I'm soiled. I'm completely, the mud. Because I have all this Kam, Krodh, Lobh, Moh, Ahankar, and the biggest one being ego. And so I have to be cleansed. Sab gun tere, all the goodness, all the virtues that I seek come from you, and they come because I am imbibing your wisdom. I'm remembering you. I'm chanting your name, and slowly by doing that, I'm being chiseled. I'm being refined. I'm being purified. Right? And that's how I'm becoming virtuous little by little. And the minute I think I'm becoming virtuous, it all goes away. Because then the biggest stumbling block of ego comes in. So, sab gun tere main nahi koi, virna gun kite pagat na hoye. It's very important. I think sometimes we don't give enough importance to these lines. Virna gun kite pagat na hoye. It doesn't matter how many hours you spend in tapasya. If it does not bring inner transformation, it is worth nothing. It means that it has remained at the level of the tongue. It hasn't come into the heart, it hasn't come into the actions, it hasn't transformed your life. It may happen, more work is needed, but it is still at the level of utterance. It hasn't come inside, because when it comes inside, when the Naam comes inside, there is transformation. The change in the personality, the change in the way you live your life is visible. And if that is not there, if those guns have not come, if that goodness, that virtue is not there, then there is no devotion.
So bhakti without good actions is meaningless.
Exactly.
Upar
Sachachar. And same thing Guru Gobind Singh says, Rahat pyari mujhko, Sikh pyara nahi. And we take the Rahat to be, the code of conduct, which was established way afterwards. But for him, it's the way you live your life. Is dear to me. That's how I call you my student. That's how I call you my learner, my devotee. I want to see the life you live. I don't want to see the lectures you give. I don't want to see the degrees you have. I don't want to see how many hours you've spent doing whatever just because it strokes your ego. I want to see what is the life that you're living. Vin gun kite pagat na hoy. Swast aat bani barmao. Sat Swan Sada Manchao. Sat Swan Sada. Swast At Bani Barmao. So, here is another concept that is very contextual. There were these bhikshaks, these people who would go and ask for blessings or ask for food, right? And they would get that. They would ask for liberation or ask for something that would some kind of a dance, Swastat Bani Barmao, and they would go with their begging bowl. Also, they would bring children, or they would go to Brahmins, and Brahmins would bless them. They would say Kalyan ho, Shubh ho, right? They would put their hand on the person's head and bless them. So the Bani is the blessing I seek. This reminds me of a very a recent incident that happened. There was a pretty famous Ragiji who was visiting, and I had done some translation for him. So he just put his hand on my head, which was sweet. It was a blessing. But just that action by him created a long line behind me, because now everybody wanted that. Everybody wanted that hand over their head. And I'm thinking, wow, we've just spent an hour and a half doing kirtan. Is that not a blessing enough? We bowed our head to Guru Sahib. Is that not blessing enough? For 2 hours we've listened to kirtan. But it is so important for us. And yes, that person may be holy, but we want the head on the head. So I think this reference is to that. Swast At Bani Barmao. That is the Kalyan, that is the Shubh Kamna, that is the blessing that you want to seek of Bani. Swast At Bani Barmao. Sat Suhan Sada Manchao. Because this Bani is the truth. This Bani is beautiful. This Bani is enchanting. Sat Suhan. This Bani makes, evokes this desire in my heart to learn it, to understand it, to behold it, to become one with it. So that is the touch I want. That is.
Swast is the blessing, or Swast is also bowing down, right?
Swast here, Vijay, I looked up the reference, and it refers to this practice of asking for some kind of a kalyan, some kind of a blessing.
So it's bowing down and asking.
Yeah, okay, it's like Brahmati Bani is the biggest blessing. Hanji? Art is no, Art is the person, the seeker. Right, Vijay? Art, good, okay. Swast At Bani Barmao, that's the seeker. Swast At Bani Barmao, Sat Suhan.
लामा की पहली जड़ी है ना, हर प्रवृत्ति कर्म जड़ाया, पहलड़ी लाओ प्रवृत्ति कर्म जड़ाया बलराम जी हो, बाणी ब्रह्मा वेद धर्म दो, बाणी ही साढ़े वास्ते ब्रह्मा है, यही वैसे मैं क्या, ये थी कोई चीज़ का, तो आत बाणी ब्रह्मा, साढ़े वास्ते बाणी ही ब्रह्मा है क्या, अस्सी जड़ा मथा टेकना कल्याण स्वरूप जड़ी चीज़ है ये वो बाणी है,
right.
सब कुछ बाणी है.
So we don't have to go seeking it. Yeah.
स्वस्थ आत बाणी में बाणी ही ब्रह्मा है. बाणी ब्रह्मा वेद धर्म करो पाप ते जाया बलराम जी हो. ये बाणी ही सारे तुम्हारे पाप मुकाए.
इसमें बाणी ने मत्था टेकना.
मत्था. Swast means I salute you.
Yeah.
Bani ji, Bani, because you are Bani. Bani Guru, Guru hai Bani.
Which Bani? Amritsar. Bani Barmaus.
Bani hi Brahma sade was a creator. We don't have to go to a creator. Brahma ji boli jana. Bani hi sade was.
And the contextual reference is how people used to go to these people who were Brahmins and ask for their blessing and ask for them to pronounce that you are Tada Kalyan hoye, Tada Shubh Sara kuch hoye. So again, the reference to what used to happen during those days. Swast Aat Bani Barmao Sat Su. Still happens. Honestly, that Ragiji was delayed by 15 minutes because now he had to stroke everybody's head. I'm like, he must have, huh? Yeah. Yeah, Vichaar, the long line. And then as he was getting into the car, someone shoved her son, in his face and said, Aditya Virakto. I'm like, okay, fine. Wonderful. So, Swast Aat Bani Barmao Sat Suhan. It's a beautiful line. That is the truth. That is the beauty. Sada Manchao. That is where the effulgence of the heart will come from. That's where the radiance will be experienced. And that's where the desire will well up. Sat Suhan. Sada Manchao. Okay, so now that you know that this is so beautiful, so radiant, so enchanting, the question arises, when did it originate? Kavan Savela Vakt Kavan. Kavan Thit Kavanwar. When did this happen? When does this light emerge? When was it created? Kavan Savela, what was that time? Kavan Savela Vakt Kavan. Vakt is generally measured by the cycle of the moon, which date, which time, which var was this emerged. Kavan Savela Vakt Kavan. Kavan Thit Kavanwar. Kavan Suruti, which was the season? Kavan Suruti Mah Kavan Jithoa Akar. When did it happen? I want to know. It's so beautiful. I want to date it. And everybody has tried to date it. Some say it's 10 million years ago, and some say it's even beyond that. And the Guru says, you know what? You can keep making your guesses. The only entity that knows when it was created is the one that was self-created, self-illumined. How can you guess at someone or some energy that was self-illumined and self-created, and you are sitting here and estimating its age and its origin? I said, that's a little ridiculous. So stop even trying to do that.
When God created time itself.
This whole concept of time is very relevant to this planet and this time frame.
That's only for that one event.
For that one event. But Gurbani says, Kai bar pasreo pasar, right? So, Kavan Savela, Vakt Kavan, Kavan Thit Kavanwar, Kavan Suruti, Maha Kavan, Chithoa Akar. And then Guru Sahib says, Vel na paya panditi. Where is the line? I've lost it again. Jeve hove lek Puran, Vakt na payo kadiya. Likhal lek Quran. These are the wisest folks. The ones that wrote, the Qazis wrote the Quran, and the Pandits wrote the Puran. And these are the wisdom heads of these different traditions. Even they don't know. So stop these guesses. Just enjoy. Just immerse yourself in it. Just forget yourself in it. Merge yourself in it. वक्त ना पायो कादियां जन लिखन ले कुरान थितवार ना जो की जाने रुतमा ना कोई जा करता सिर ठीको साजे आपे जाने सोए. Whoever has created knows the moment, the time of creation. आपे जाने सोए. किव कर आँखा किव सालाही क्यों वर्णी किव जाना. What you have to worry about is किव कर आँखा किव सालाही. How do I praise you? How do I address you? How do I come in contact with you? How do I come closer to you? Kiv kar aakha, kiv salahi. How do I praise you? Kiv varni, kiv jana, nanak aakhan, sabko aakhe, ik do ik siana.
This is the answer to all the debates that take place all the time.
Yes.
Even Guru Nanak Dev Ji says, I can't answer any of these questions.
I can't answer.
We all get into arguments about these specific things.
Right.
That can't be explained.
And every time we do that, Viji, we limit it, right?
Yeah.
We limit it, we confine it, right?
Right. How a son can know when my father was born, People can tell him, but he said, no, I am the son. When he was born, I cannot tell.
These days you can probably look it up on the internet.
किव कर आखा किव सालाही क्यों वरनी किव जाना नानक आखन सबको आखे एक दो एक सियाना. There's so many wise people debating, arguing, writing research papers, condemning each other, getting into arguments, and the play goes on. And the Guru says, Vadda Sahib Vaddi Nai Kita Jaka Hove. It is that will that prevails, and it's not for us to determine that. It is for the Akal Purakh only to know. Vadda Sahib, it's so great, it's beyond our comprehension. Vaddi Nai, his manifestation is great, or her manifestation is great. I somehow have started having a problem with the pronoun his for God. Vadda Sahib Vaddi Nai Kita Jaka Hove. Nanak Jeko Apo Jane Age Gya Na Soe. Now here is the line that we want to grasp and really understand. Nanak Jeko Apo Jane Age Gya Na Soe. The minute we put a stake in the ground that we know better, that I know, that I can get you the gyan, that I can get you the darshan. You know how many people there are that do that? Wale Baba ji gyan dende ne, tade kan de vich mantar phukte ne, right? Nanak Jeko Apu Jane, that I know it all, you know. If you come to my sangat, you will get the real darshan. People make such strides when they come to my particular sangat, right? This is where there is only naam. Because this Guruji gives it, or this whoever gives it. Nanak Jeko Apu Jane, who says, I can do this, or I can. Agge Gyana, sorry, has no room in the abode of Akal Purakh. There is no room. Because there is ego there, right? Hame name nal virod hai. Dona vasek thai. Whenever there is ego, any times, this is a great test. Anytime this thing comes that I know better, I know less. I don't know anything. Because I've gotten stuck in that ego, and that's the end. That's the most limiting thing. So no stakes in the ground about your knowledge, about our awareness, about the last word that this is it, about saying that, you know, I'm the one that can get you the darshan. I've heard so many people say that. You know, utthe jaake ji bas darshan milte ne. I know someone who's so, I want to say gullible, that believes someone who says that I actually met God, and I can tell you what God said to me. I met God in person, right? And I can tell you about it. Really, wow, you know.
You're telling the truth, and that person may have experienced in that.
So that's different, Vichi. Yeah. To say that I can get you there, when really it's your own experience and your own faith and your own love that will get you going. There is no shortcut. You know, if you think about it, by taking a dip, if you think you can cleanse yourself, that's a shortcut. You don't want to do the work. We are all looking for shortcuts. So looking for these external ways of cleansing, of reaching, of these instant cures, right? These instant progressions is nothing but looking for shortcuts. And all of us do that. I mean, shortcuts, we want shortcuts. We don't want to, we want the, you know, the get rich quick schemes. They're very attractive, you know, because they promise you the wealth, whether it's worldly or of the realm of the spirit, without doing the work. But the thing is, it doesn't work. It doesn't work. And so anyone that promises you that, you know, beware. And anytime you say it, that you know it and you got it, you know, just know that there is no room for you in Guru's Darbar. Nanak Jeko Apu Jane Age Gyana Soe. Cannot be adorned, cannot be decorated, cannot find place in the Guru's book.
People are arguing and all that. We need to understand from the Gurbani what Gurbani says. Kabir Das is a very good shabad on this. बेद कतेब इफ्तरा पाई, दिल का फिक्र न जाए, टुकदम करारी जो करो, हाज़र हज़ूर खुदा है, बंदे खोज, दिल हर रोज नापते परेशानी मारे, बेद कतीब इफ्तरा पाई. What Kabir Das is saying, refrain from arguing, my faith is right, his faith is not good, my way is the right way, this is the wrong way. Beid Kadeeb Iftara, you are basically arguing. Iftara means arguing and fighting. My thing is good. My faith. Beid Kadeeb. Beid are talking about my faith is good. Kadeeb. The Christianity says this. The Muslim faith says this. Iftara means they are arguing. Beid Kadeeb Iftara bhai, dil ka fikr na jaye. In your mind, you will never find peace. Tukdam karari jo karo, hazar huzur khuda hai. If you, instead of arguing on this, try to concentrate your mind, consciousness on that Almighty God and develop a love for Him, divine love. Develop a divine love for Him. And dil ka tukdam karari jo karo, even for a moment, if you develop a love for Him, hazar huzur khuda hai, you will see the God is existing
everywhere,
the whole humanity. Not only in me, it's in everybody. Hazar zul khuda hai. फिर कहते हैं बंदे खोज दिल हर रोज, you look inside,
beautiful,
search within you, बंदे खोज. So objective is to develop that divine love instead of arguing my faith is right, this way is right. When the word creation was done, Guru Nanak Dev Ji is saying, you are wasting all your time. You have very limited time in this earth, and you are wasting all those precious moments. Develop a divine love for Him, and even for a moment. Kabir Das. बेद कते बिस्तरा, हरमंदर साहब तो बड़ी बार हुक्म आता है, बेद कते बिस्तरा पाई, दिल का फिक्र न जाए, टुकदम करारी, टुकदम. Even dam means the breath. Even for one breath, किनका एक जिस जी बसावे, क्योंकि these are all connected with Bani. किनका एक जी बसावे ताकि महिमा गाए. टुकदम करारी जो करो, हाज़र हज़ूर खुदा है. You will see the God ingrained
everyone.
Not only humanity, even birds, animals. तट पाताल आकाश है मेरी जिंदगी है, सब हर नाम ते आ गए ना. बंदे, how it's going to happen? बंदे खोज. Instead of this, वेदा ने है क्या, क्रिश्चियनिटी ने है क्या, मेरा रब चंगा गया, मेरा तरीका चंगा गया, वो चंगा गया. कहते बंदे खोज दिल हर.
और सिमिलर तो कहिए बेद कते कहो मत झूठे,
झूठा जो न बिचारे. So what people learn this Ved, Kateb or Bani so that they can argue with other people. So ऐसे कबीर दास जी कह रहे हैं, instead of learning from that and arguing on this, develop love.
And you know, now what people have started saying, that all those are false, that Sikhi condemns them. No.
Well, the ones who say it, I'm scared.
Yeah.
केयर वाले जो मर्जी कहता है, पानी तो पानी पूछो ना, पानी में दसो कितने क्या.
Right, exactly.
If anybody says anything, this is right, tell them.
Yeah, show me.
No, what Bani says.
Which one? Yeah.
Okay. Well,
so
we will show you things from Bani by picking one line and putting it.
No, there's one line you can always take out of context.
Yeah, exactly.
People are justifying the Guru Sahib said that drinking and eating is okay. Khana pina pavitra hai.
I heard a very nice phrase from the other person who was talking the other day. He said these are Pankti wars they get into. They take a line, Pankti wars. They have wars about one line or another.
Mood ke naal na lujhiye. Guru Sahib ne kya hai, when you really get in that, go get away from that.
I think.
Mood ke naal na lujhiye.
Yeah. But akhare ho bujhiye. But manda kise na akhiye, right?
नहीं, पर मंदा तुसी किसे नहीं कहना गा, पर एवे कि जे किसे कोई out of context ले रहा है, you have the right to do that.
Right.
गुरु साहब ने सब चीज़ नू accept किया है, अपने किसे पुत्र नू उन्होंने discard नहीं किया, but एक गुरु ने अपने पुत्र नू discard किया है. Out of all the gurus, गुरु हर राय जी जिन्होंने हमने कल सी गुरुपुरम बनाया, उन्होंने राम राय जी नू accept नहीं किया, only for one reason. उन्होंने एक पंक्ति, एक वर्ड बदलिया सी. और आज जी अमृत छको ते कहते ने राम राइयां दे नाल नहीं बरतना. सो इतना देखना इट इज सो टफ मतलब कि गुरु साहब ने जब ਇਹ ਚੀਜ਼ ਦੱਸ ਰਹੇ ਨੇ ਕਿ ਜਿਸਨੂੰ ਬਾਣੀ ਤੇ ਫੇਥ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈਗਾ ਨਾ ਉਸ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਨਹੀਂ ਰਹਿਣਾ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਪਿਆਰ ਨਹੀਂ ਪਾ ਸਕਦੇ you will not be able to develop divine love for him and you are wasting your life so that's what Sahib is saying so जोड़ा खाली देखने में पंक्ति वार वगैरह I don't want to be part of that
right बिल्कुल
I don't want to be part of that
not do you want to be
a sense you need to कभी भी एक लाइन ते नहीं करना है उन पूरे शब्द को समझना है ये शब्द जेड़ा है ਇਹਦੇ ਚ ਰਹਾਉ ਤੂੰ ਕੀ ਹੈ ਇਹ ਕਹਿੰਦੀ ਪਈ ਹੈਗੀ ਹੈ ਬੰਦੇ ਖੋਜ ਦਿਲ ਹਰ ਰੋਜ਼ ਨਾ ਫਿਰ ਪਰੇਸ਼ਾਨੀ ਮਾਰ and you will be very happy all your life that's what basically is saying so instead of that if you are arguing with other people you're going to waste your life that's what
and you get trapped in your own ego so Nanak you know you Nanak ji ko apu jaane ke mainu sab to zyada pata hai agge kya na soe there's no room for the egoistic or the egotistic